The Galaxy S22 Ultra drop test is finally here, where it's going head-to-head against its biggest competitor in the iPhone 13 Pro Max. Now, this year with the S22 Ultra, Samsung made a couple of improvements that should help with the phone's durability. For one, they're using Gorilla Glass Victus Plus, which, unless it's just some fancy marketing, sounds like it's better than regular Victus Glass from last year, although we don't know that for sure since there's no official documentation outlining what the difference between Victus and Victus Plus actually is. But one thing we do know a little bit about is instead of the 7000 series aluminum frame that Samsung typically uses, the S22 Ultra is equipped with their new Armor aluminum that is supposedly 10% stronger. How all that stacks up to the stainless steel frame, the ceramic shield glass, and the flat edges on the iPhone, where the glass sits flush with the frame, well, there's only one way to find out. This episode is sponsored by NordVPN. So there are 3 reasons why you want to use a VPN on your devices. Number 1 is with a VPN like NordVPN, you can browse the web privately and anonymously, masking things like your IP address, which make it way harder for companies to track you. Number 2 is security, with NordVPN encrypting your internet connection, so if you ever find yourself on a public Wi-Fi network, you don't have to worry about anyone else on that network eavesdropping on your activity. And number 3 is with over 5,400 plus servers across 60 different countries, NordVPN allows you to browse the web as if you're actually in those countries, allowing you to access content from streaming services that normally wouldn't be available to you. And the best part is if you go to nordvpn.com/PhoneBuff, you'll get in on an exclusive deal with a 30-day money-back guarantee. I'll drop a link down below in the description, but again, that's nordvpn.com/PhoneBuff. Round number 1, backdrop.
3, 2, 1.
After that backdrop, both phones do surprisingly well in that neither completely shattered. But it wasn't a perfect result either. The curved edge on the Galaxy got pretty scuffed up here, and it also suffered this small hairline crack under the camera. It's not the easiest thing to see at first just because the black on this Galaxy is so dark, but it's definitely a crack. The iPhone, on the other hand, also got a crack, but on the bottom, with the crack looking a bit worse. Of course, some of that has to do with it just being easier to see on this lighter color, but with the iPhone also suffering scuffs to its cameras in addition to its frame, while this is a close one, I have to give the slight edge to the Galaxy in round number 1. Round number 2, corner drop.
2, 1.
After that corner drop, the Galaxy actually did better than I was expecting. I thought for sure that the sharp corner would just dig into the concrete, but given the circumstances, the damage isn't really all that bad. I mean, it's definitely more scuffed than the iPhone's frame is, but considering that the iPhone did get this tiny little dent here that you can only really see when the light hits it at a certain angle, this one's just too close to call, so it's a tie in round number 2. Round number 3, face drop.
3, 2, 1.
And after that face drop, without those camera bumps helping them break the fall, both phones unfortunately have their front glass shattered. But the difference is, on the Galaxy, it looks way worse than it does on the iPhone. But the good news, at least, is the Galaxy screen still technically works. Even the S Pen does, with just a little bit of friction over those cracks. But unfortunately, the bad news is the in-screen fingerprint scanner doesn't work, since a lot of the cracking happened right there where the sensor is. So while it wasn't pretty at all, it's a clear win for the iPhone in round number 3, bonus round. Alright, so with both phones still being close to fully functional, we're going to be pushing them to their limits, dropping them up to 10 times onto a smooth steel surface from higher up at just under 1.5 meters.
3, 2, 1.
After the first bonus drop, it doesn't really look like much changed, with the touchscreens and the cameras on both phones working just as before. So we'll keep on going. 4 drops in, and outside of the spiderwebbing on the Galaxy getting worse from all the repeated drops, both phones still have the same level of functionality as when they started the round. So let's keep on going. 6 drops in, and despite these being face drops, that initial crack on the back of the Galaxy has begun to spread, with it now going all the way down to the bottom, while the iPhone's initial back crack has stayed pretty much exactly the same. And after all 10 bonus drops, as you would expect, neither of these phones looks good. But the Galaxy looks particularly bad, with the front glass just shattered all over now, and of course that back glass is now fully cracked as well. And it's not just cosmetic damage for the Galaxy. While the fingerprint scanner stopped working earlier on in the test, now the S Pen won't even come out of the slot. I don't know if this means there's some bending inside or what, but no matter how many times we tried and how hard we press on it, the S Pen just won't come out. The iPhone, on the other hand, well, it amazingly still remains fully functional. It's definitely not the best result we've ever seen, but at least in this comparison, outside of the first round, the iPhone did better overall, making it the winner in this drop test. Anyways, that is it for me in this video. Thank you for watching, and as always, I'll see you in the very next episode.